Good evening, everyone. I've got a new location tonight out in the garden because it's nice weather. Anyway, so let us talk tonight. We've got Rob Curtis on when he comes on. Um, Obviously, all questions are welcome again. So Monday night we have 4 new guests on. We've got Tyrone Sterling from the England six-a-side team and a well-known non-league player. We've got Tom Fitzgerald as well, very well known in the non-league team. We've also got 2 other guests who are very well known in the football circuit, which I will announce later on or tomorrow. So just waiting for Rob to come on. Don't know if he's on yet. He might have sneaked on. No, he hasn't sneaked on. But as I say, all questions are welcome. Hopefully everyone's well. On Monday night it will again be Let Us Talk at 8 o'clock. Obviously we do it on a Thursday at 8:30 because of everyone going out for the key workers and NHS club. So hopefully everyone's well. You're right, Paul, in here. Plasman's in here. Jimmy King, all well. Tony as well. Hope you're all well, mate. Yeah, just waiting for Rob to come on. As I say, any guests, any questions for Rob or myself, yeah, just ask them, and hopefully we can answer them. Has anyone got? Oh, here he is. It's just come on now. Right, let's get him on. Good evening, mate.
Hello, mate. You alright?
Yeah, I thought you'd forgot about me then.
No, I was gonna buy you off, but I don't want to upset anyone. No, I'm joking.
Nah,
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
yeah, not bad, not bad. Been
Good.
working still?
In the cab, no. I mean, it's pointless uptown. Everyone's not in the office and stuff. But I've been doing a bit of decking and fencing, ticking over, mate. Don't tell the
Not
tax
bad.
man that though.
Yeah, nah. But obviously, for the ones what don't know you in here, like always, let them know who you are,
Yeah.
and obviously how we know each other.
Yeah. So I'm Rob Curtis. I'm a London Black taxi driver. I know Jamie through non-league football. Met him at first at Step 5 when I was playing at Fisher under Dean Harrison, and he was helping out doing a bit of coaching down there. And obviously we've come across each other ever since, here and there in games and non-league. So yeah, and kept in touch ever since, really.
So on a Thursday, obviously it's a little bit different because we don't have to rush off because of on Monday. Obviously we have a little bit of a schedule really because obviously
Mm.
we have 4 guests. So on a Thursday, what I normally do is I let the guests obviously tell their story. Obviously, maybe along the way there might be some questions in here, or if I have any questions. But yeah, really, it's up to you. Whatever you want to say, obviously,
Yeah.
let them know your experiences and your story, and then hopefully there's some questions along the way from people in here or myself,
Yeah, no, of
and
course,
hopefully
yeah.
it helps whoever watching it back or watching tonight.
Yeah, that's the idea, mate. Hopefully it just gets people, hopefully it helps people open up a bit themselves.
Yeah,
But yeah, so if I go off on a tandem at times, I apologise.
nah, that's
I'll
fine.
try. There's a lot to it, as you know, Jay.
Hmm.
So yeah, my mental health experience really, phew, I've had quite a bit of it. It came, like I mentioned, it came to a head about the other year when I was from Belvedere that year, under Owen and stuff, and it came to a head in a game. We was playing against Sporting Club Thamesmead on a Tuesday night at home, and game started as normal. Probably made a couple of little errors, nothing bad, just like a silly part, a couple of bad passes or something, and they really
So
got,
normal in a game then, really.
huh?
Normal then.
Steady, come on, mate. Bit of credit, yeah? Bit of credit. I'm not just a header and a tackler. Yeah, I made a couple of little errors, nothing major. And they got to me more than it should have, really. Usually you go, fuck's sake, Rob, sort it out, and then you get back on the game.
Yeah, just brush it off, get on with it, yeah.
Yeah, like most people, you know. But I couldn't seem to do that. And for the next 10 or 15 minutes, I just kind of froze up. And I couldn't seem to get out of that hole. The only way I can describe it is I froze up. And George Jones at the time, Owen's son, who was playing, he turned around to me and said, "Robbie, you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm good, mate. Just let me get over it. Like, I need to get my head back on. Like, leave me for a second. Let me get my head back on." And I'm thinking, right, I'll just get my head back on, get back to basics like you do, and start again. But I couldn't, mate. And then what happened was it started building up. I just went numb. And then this kid ran across the edge of the box, and I just absolutely smeared him. Like, not bad, not viciously or anything. I went to tackle him. I was never going to win the ball. I needed to I was trying to get it out of my system, you know, and I took it out in the wrong way. I didn't channel it right. Gave away a foul and whatnot. And then one of their players turned to me himself. One of their actual players had turned to me. I can't remember who it was. And he said, "Are you okay, mate? Like, you don't look all right." And I said, yeah, don't worry, mate. Like, just pied him off. And I kind of went, I turned around to myself and I went, "No, well, like, I've got to come off." And I said, George, he was skipper, I said, "Look, I need to speak to my man. When it goes off the next, I'm going to come off. I'm going to drag myself off, mate. I'm not in the right frame of mind. I'm not feeling good. And I've got to be honest with myself. I'm going to let everyone down if I don't." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So ball went up. Once play restarted, ball went off. And I said, like, "Oh, I've got to come off." Obviously, it's the middle of a game. He's the gaffer. He's not very happy. He's thinking, "What is going on with you?" Like, one of his senior players at the time. And so, yeah, it wasn't a comfortable 60 or so minutes sitting on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And then after the game, I was so embarrassed by myself and the way I behaved, my performance. I just left straight away. I went and sat in the car, mate, and left. And then I spoke to Owen the next day. I said, "Look, I need a break from football. I need to go and get my head sorted." And I had a chat with people around me, close family members and stuff, and they were all on it. They were pretty honest to me and said, "Don't get, like, you need to speak to someone," because it had been building up over time, which I will get to, of course.
Yeah.
Because it can't go on. It was getting to a point. It was ruining friendships, relationships, and there's only so much you can you can expect others to help you, but unless you're going to help yourself, they can't do anything for you. You know what I mean? You can't expect others to do it for you. It's not fair. It's not fair on the people around you either. So I went and had counselling for a while, and it was absolutely unbelievable. So I didn't go down the route of going to the doctors, going on antidepressants. I'm a big believer in not masking an issue. If there's an issue, whether it's mental health or anything else, you don't I can't see the value in masking the issue with antidepressant tablets. So I never went down that route. I thought, I've got to go to someone that doesn't know me, has no emotional connection to me, and who can be honest with me as well, and I can be honest with them, because there's demons we all have inside of us that we haven't told people around us. Do you know what I mean? Which you can talk to someone that you don't know confidentially about. And it was the best thing I've ever done, mate. Since then, I went back to football. I rang the gaffer. I said, "Look, he wasn't too sure at the time." So it was about probably 4 to 5 weeks later where I was starting to feel good again. I was still having counselling. I said, "Look, I'm in the right frame. Can I get back in training, work my way in the team? I'm not expecting to walk back in." And at first, he ignored me because I got it though, because I'd let him down. And
did he understand the situation? Did you?
No, Owen's he's quite old school. Owen. So he didn't quite understand it. He was just a bit like, he was a bit shocked as to like, what was that all about?
Mm.
So I've got to remember, sometimes you've got to understand people won't understand your story until you're completely open with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
So
mean?
at that time when you rang him, or after the game, and then you obviously went away, turned around and said, like, I don't want to play football, I don't want to be around football for that period of time, up until you had rang him again and said, oh, look, I want to come back, he knew nothing, really? Did he know nothing?
He knew I was going. I told him I was going to go and get counselling in that belt, and speak to someone because I needed to. That's all I told him,
Yeah.
and I needed
So,
to get my head straight.
so from his point of view, obviously, he really didn't understand what was going on, really. So you
He
can
didn't know the
understand.
details
Yeah.
as to why I behaved the way I did. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I
Which obviously, obviously is going to be weird for him in his
yeah,
situation. You know what I mean? So from
yeah,
his
which I
point of
did.
view,
I
um,
understand that.
yeah, but obviously, I'm with Rupert, obviously his brother at FC Elmstead. So I would have, like, I don't know obviously what Owen was like at that time with it, but I can only, obviously he's his twin brother Rupert, but
Yeah.
I know that his attitude probably between him would have been, any support you need, anything like that, I'll be there for you, because that's what I've known of Rupert.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know Owen, but I've known Rupert a little bit
Owen,
longer now.
he's very like that, but I think where I kind of went, it was kind of a sudden thing. He was a bit. I think he was a bit taken back by the way I just went. No, look, I'm going. I'm not coming back for a few weeks, mate.
Yeah,
And
so he's quite shocked.
yeah, and obviously, like that year we were going well. We ended up doing really well in the end, and so he had to keep his focus on that. So I understand that. Do you know what I mean? And eventually, I said, I waked him, if I'm honest, mate, and said, look, I'll prove to you how my mindset has changed. And I went back to the boy. I went back and he let me come back training one day. I said, look, let me just get back in training and get around the boys, and I'll prove it to you, because I knew I was in such a good mindset then, and I'd sorted myself out, and I was still having counselling, and I went back in, and I said, look, I'm going to tell the boys, explain to the boys what's gone on. So if you let me. So he did. So we called a meeting for a training session, and I told everyone, I said, look, boys, obviously, because all they knew at the time was I had a bad game, stormed off and didn't come back.
Yeah.
That's all they knew, because I was embarrassed to talk to them about it.
Why was that?
Because it's a change room. I assumed people would start judging me or bad mouthing you. You know what football's like.
Do you think that was because of the stigma, maybe?
Yes.
What we've touched on before.
Yeah, it comes with a stigma, doesn't it? It has, and that's a stigma that's been around for forever, really, isn't it? So yeah, I felt embarrassed if I'd tried to explain it, But then, to my shock, when I explained to everyone, look, I went away. I was in a bit of a hole mentally. I've gone away. I've had counselling. I've had some frank and honest chats with the people around me, close to me, who noticed the patterns in my behaviour for a while, and I want to make it up to you. I want to make it up to you, boys. And that doesn't mean I'm trying to come in and take everyone's place again and start as a first teamer again straight away. I want to earn my place, and I did in the end. My opportunity came after about 3 weeks being back, and I made a promise to myself, because I knew if I couldn't keep that promise, then I haven't sorted myself out. I haven't sorted my issues out. And for the rest of that season, no one could believe. The players said to me, Rob, you're like a different person. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't reacting in games when I usually react. I'd have a bit of banter with other players, and I'm still strong in the tackle, but I'm not doing silly things off the ball if people are trying to provoke me. Because Jay, you've probably been in change rooms where they've said, "Get Curtis." Do you know what I mean? Or we're playing him this week. What Curtis is like, try to get him sent off. Do you know?
Yeah, hot head, or yeah,
Yeah.
if he misses one challenge, then he's going to go for the next or something like that. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Yeah.
exactly. And I knew that, and I got to a point where I didn't want to be constantly tarnished with that either in football. So,
Mm.
yeah, for the rest of the season, then I had my head on. I might have got 1 yellow card, 2 yellow cards, all
Mm.
for just a mistimed tackle. Nothing malicious, nothing silly,
Yeah.
and everyone noticed the difference in me. And yeah, obviously, I also what a big thing for me having to have a frank discussion with myself was obviously my little boy coming along. So
Mm.
I got to a stage I was either going to go down a rut mentally and ruin everything around me,
Mm.
or fix up and be the person I need to be going forward in life. Do you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, that's the football element. That's how it started, and I got over myself.
Mm.
The issues, and from this day on, I still feel brilliant. I haven't been back to counselling.
Yeah.
I haven't needed to go back, not yet. And I feel great. I've learned how to channel things now, which is what I needed to do in terms of anger, um, and my moods. So I wouldn't say I ever suffered with severe depression, but I definitely had a mild. My therapist said that. She said you because the way I didn't need tablets, didn't need antidepressants, but I was getting to a stage where I might have had to if it carried on. But luckily, I stopped it before then. So
Mm.
really, that was my mental health kind of. It was a kind of almost 10-year battle, really, if I'm being honest. When I was 15, my mum and dad split up, like many others. I'm not special because my parents split up, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself more than anyone else because of
Mm.
that. But obviously, every breakup, a parental breakup, is different
Of
and
course,
affects
yeah.
people differently.
Yeah. So
Um,
just before you touch on it, just a couple comments in there, Rob. Completely different person and player once you come back. That was from Webby.
yeah, yeah,
And Sonia, someone in here who I've been speaking to as well.
yeah.
He said, "Good for you. Stay strong." So
Thank you.
you've got some
Yeah, no,
support in
thank
here
you.
as well.
Great comments. Thanks, Webby, and thank you, Sonia. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's nice, obviously, when you know you've changed and you put a lot of effort into yourself changing.
Mm.
You kind of when you do get them comments inside, you feel it makes you feel good. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
other people have noticed it. Do you know what I mean? It's nice when you know other people have noticed that change in you.
Yeah. McGinty's just turned around and said as well, Leggett, thumbs up, and Core. I've known Rob since we was like, I think, 7 years old and becoming good friends. I'm proud to
Yeah.
call him my pal, and what a player. Keep going, mate.
Cheers,
Um,
Chrissy, mate. Thank you, pal.
yeah,
And
then
yeah, I
Mummy.
appreciate it. I played with Chrissy. He was lobbing goalkeepers since we were 7, mate. Unbelievable.
Yeah, again, he's another one. He's on and off, isn't he? Though, you know what I mean. He needs to sort his head out and
Yeah,
just
I
score
need
the
to have a
goals.
chat with him. I need to have
Yeah,
a chat with him.
yeah. But Mummy,
Thank you, Inio. Thank you, mate.
yeah, Mummy says well done for speaking out, Rob.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Obviously, you've just seen that the games I watched, you were brilliant, mate. Sonia said no worries.
Thanks,
Yeah,
En.
and
Top
McGinty's
bloke.
laughing now and saying about the Lewisham youth days.
Yeah, Lewisham Youth Days. That's it, mate. No, they're
All
great.
right,
Thank you,
cool.
guys. Thanks for them comments.
Yeah,
Thank
obviously
you.
interrupted for that. Yeah, sorry, you was just saying.
No, that's
Obviously, yeah.
fine. That's fine. So, yeah, in terms of where I kind of, my mental health, where I first experienced mental health was when I was about 15. Um, my parents split up, like most people. These days, it's quite a common thing, but it was quite a volatile breakup. If I'm honest, I was 15. I've got 3 older brothers, by the way, so they were all at an age where they were kind of moved out, living their
Mm.
own life, and they knew it was happening, but it didn't affect them so much. They were able to, disconnect from it. So they one day basically my mum and dad sat us down and said, look, we're going to split up. And my mum said, I'm the one that's I'm going to leave for whatever reasons. And yeah, that wasn't nice. Usually it's the dad that leaves, isn't it? Or it's, you know,
Yeah.
it depends on the relate. Obviously,
Yeah.
I never for a while I kind of held a grudge with my mum for it. But then as I've got older, you realise relationships. As kids, we don't see the full extent of our mum and dad's relationships. So there's always two sides to a relationship, and you don't know what her reasons were, you know.
Yeah.
But
But
I then,
at the
so
time,
I know.
obviously, at the time when it's happened, obviously, yeah, you're not going to understand. So you're going to have mixed emotions. You're going to blame someone when
Yeah,
it may not be their fault. And as you
yeah,
say, the experiences of it, as you get older, it changes, doesn't it? And your perspective
yeah,
changes as well. So yeah, you can't
100%.
blame yourself or anyone who's gone through that. Can't blame one person, but it's easy to
No,
say at the time when it happens.
yeah, exactly, mate. Spot on. You're spot on, to be honest. And so then I then went through seeing both of my parents struggle mentally, if I'm
Mm.
honest. While, because although my mum, it was her decision to leave, it didn't, that doesn't mean it didn't hurt her. Do you know what I mean? And, and then I'm 15, I woke up in the mornings and I'd see my dad sitting on the end of his bed in tears
Mm.
for a
Yeah.
while. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Depressed.
Mm.
And he's trying to stay strong for me, because I'm still with him. My mum's now on her own, trying to stay strong for herself, kind of thing. And they're both in a really bad way mentally. So then I'm caught in between that. I don't want to blame anyone for it, although
Yeah.
there's still that resentment to my mum at the
Mm.
time, not anymore at the time.
Mm.
So then I found myself at 15 trying to stay strong for both of them
Yeah. It's
and
again
making
as
sure they're
well.
okay. Yeah,
It's the understanding as well, isn't it? At
mm,
that time as well, you probably at 15 you'll probably slightly understand, but you don't really understand what's going on, um,
no,
because you've had that for 15 years. You've had your mum and dad there, so it's going to affect you and anyone around you. But it's
100%.
trying to have that understanding to get through it.
Yeah, you're spot on, Jay, mate. You know your stuff, mate. Are you a
But yeah,
counsellor? Are you a
nah, mate,
counsellor?
nah, mate,
I
nah.
might have to book in a session with you after this.
Oh well, you might have to next season if Emmett has his way. He turned around and said, "I'll take you in a heartbeat."
What's Enio saying?
He said,
Is Fabio digging deep in them pockets, is he?
"I don't know. We'll have to ask En. I'll have a chat with En afterwards, after the
Oh, well,
show."
exactly. Yeah, no. I'll give you a call then. um, and so, yeah, I found myself at 15 trying to stay strong for my parent, trying to be the parent in a way,
Yeah,
if I'm being totally honest, mate, between it. Even though they didn't expect me to be, I just naturally was. I'm that kind of person, even at football, mate.
mm.
If Neo is made of skin already. That don't surprise. He's giving it all to Antonio, isn't he?
Yeah, probably,
um,
probably.
so yeah, I found myself yeah, and I just felt it was hard, and then so I saw my dad then not ever admit he was depressed because with what had gone on, or my mum
Yeah,
admit that they were depressed either. Because they're both Irish from Dublin. They come over in the 80s.
yeah.
They're from an era, especially in Ireland, where you just roll your sleeves up and
Get on with it.
you get on with things, and you don't talk about things. In Ireland, what they do is everything could be falling apart, mate. But
Mm.
what they'll do is they'll put on a front that everything's perfect to the world. That's what people are like, and they come from that generation, and they come over here. They worked hard. You know what I mean. They had four kids, worked hard to earn money and get us by, and they didn't have the easiest life to start with. So they've got a lot of issues they've had to deal with, my mum and dad, which they've
Uh,
never spoke about. And then
as you said, sorry, just as you said, at 15, they've split up, and obviously the issues are going on with them. Um, And obviously, back in the day, we've spoken about it. It was a lot harder, obviously, to come out and say I've got an issue.
Mm.
Do you feel you could have maybe at that time spoken to your mum or dad, or did you feel I can't do this?
No, I probably could have in hindsight, but
Mm,
I didn't want to put a burden on them and tell them
mm,
how it was making me feel as a 15-year-old.
mm.
I wanted because I saw them in such a bad way that I wanted them to be okay. I wanted them
Yeah,
to get through this. You know, that's kind of just the way I am as a person in general. I'm like it in the change room, Jay, with at football. People will tell you I'm always making sure everyone's all right. Off
mm,
just to the side. You know what I mean? I'll see everyone at training, and when we're talking one to one, I go, hey, how's things? Do you know what I mean?
mm.
You're okay. Or if I spot something's not quite right, I'm naturally inclined to see if they're okay. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
hmm,
It's just the way I can't help it, and I was like that with my parents. But then, as I got older, I got over all that. I not got over it, but I dealt with it. Um, as they got older, obviously, it was less volatile as the breakup finished and whatnot,
mm,
and and they got their divorce basically. So
mm.
I got over that, and I didn't need anything for that. I didn't go and see anyone. I didn't go to the doctor, nothing like that. So
Mm.
yeah, that kind of, and then so I was about 18, 19, getting over that. That was fine. Becoming an adult, you know, out in the working world, doing what I've got to do, earning money, blah blah blah. And then about 20 years of age, I think I was about 20. Um, so I still living at home with my dad. I it was a Friday night. I went. I'd been out. He'd been
Yeah,
out. I come home and went to bed. I wasn't late. I was home by midnight. Went to bed, mate, and then he got in a bit later than me, but I didn't hear him. And it was about 3 a.m. I think.
yeah,
Um, my bedroom door flew open, and I didn't know what the fuck it was. I turned over, I woke up, and these two blokes in balaclavas had come into my room, and I was half asleep still, right? So I didn't
mm,
know what was going on. Um,
mm.
and they they come up to me, and I said, what's going on? Who's this? Like, I thought it was a wind up, mate. I genuinely
Yeah,
thought it was a wind up.
mm.
And then one of them, he's yeah. So I've then got a clump in the face, um, straight in the nose, claret, busted straight open.
Yeah,
And then you get the questions: where's your money? Where's your jewellery? Have you got a safe? Is it proper burglary, right?
yeah,
And then I was still in a daze. I went, what are you talking about? And then I got this clump over the head. It was something metal. I realised it was a knife, but it
yeah.
was the handle of the knife. It wasn't the sharp. It was the handle of
The
the knife.
sharp end. Yeah,
Yeah. And then I felt the blood straight away. Um, it was so there's claret coming out of me everywhere. They dragged me up. Um, one went behind me, put the knife to my throat, and they pulled me out into the hallway. And there was two other blokes, so there's four of them. Two
mm.
of them had my dad, and two of them had me. Um, and their words were, mate, if if you don't give us anything worthwhile, I'm going to slit your throat
Mm.
and your dad's, and you're not going to survive tonight, right? There was I was 20 years of age. Can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't, it's buffering. Hello? What I do is I come off and then come back on. Let me try to re-add Rob. Just trying to re-add.
Hello, mate.
Yeah, go on then, mate. Sorry about that. I don't know if it's me or you.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So yeah, we got to the stage. Yeah, so they had a knife to our throat. Obviously, if we don't get anything worthwhile, then I'm going to slit your throat. You know, it's that was their words. But they put me on the floor. I was on the floor. One of them was standing over me with the knife to my throat. And then one of them had my dad up against the wall with a knife to his throat. And I'm trying to think how it went. So two of them were just ransacking the place, looking for whatever they could get. They were asked. I think I had one watch at the time, nothing really expensive, in my room, and I probably had about £100 on my bedroom side. They couldn't fucking see it because they were in such a rush to try and get anything. So I tried to tell them where it was, and then they basically, I was trying to explain to them, and they said, "You need to shut up, or I'm going to put this knife in your throat." That was his words, right? So I let them get on with what they got. They ended up leaving with the £100 I had on my sides, my watch, one of my dad's watches, and he might have had 100 or so quid I was wearing in cash on the side. And I laid there, and it was like an out of body experience, mate. You lay there until you've been in a situation like that. The only way I can describe it is, it's like an out of body experience, because you actually come to terms with yourself and tell yourself, I am going to die tonight.
Yeah.
Right. So, and when you tell yourself that, what happens is your body just goes really calm. Now, a lot of people say, if someone ever come into my house and put a knife to my throat or my son's throat or my dad's throat, then I ain't gonna have it. I am telling you, if someone comes into your house with a knife or a gun and puts it, you are not going to react unless you're an idiot.
For me, and I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be just froze.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's what you do. You freeze. And obviously, where was I at? Yeah, so I come to terms. I actually told myself I'm not gonna make it through tonight, because I was so confident they were gonna Well, yeah, you know what I mean? You know, it's like nowadays with knives and stuff. You think, right, if they're going to tell you they're going to stab you, they're going to stab you, mate.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? So that was, so from that happens, and then obviously that's where my PTSD come from. So from about 20 years of age to till I had counselling, so till I was 26, 27, I was dealing with PTSD to an extent that if I heard a noise at night, I could be fast asleep. If I heard one noise, it doesn't have to be a loud one, I'll be up like a shot, mate. And
yeah, of course.
every night I'll be checking the doors, checking the window, making sure everything's locked 10 times over. And this was constant. I'd never go into, I couldn't get into a deep sleep. And what I'd done there, I had two options. When something like that happens to you, you've got two options. You can either go, be glad you're still alive, be glad you're still alive, and just take everything life gives you, or you can be angry, resentful,
It takes over your life.
and it takes over your life.
Mm.
The latter happened for me. So I was, by the way. So that was the other thing. We thought we did at one point, but it wasn't right. It wasn't true. And then constantly, as you know, on football, it come out in me on football. Usually,
The anger, yeah.
Where if it would come out of me where I'd react, because the minute I felt threatened from that point, from when I was onwards, I would react straight away, try and defend myself.
Yeah, of course.
Even when I didn't. And that's why I'm going to be honest with you. The problem I've had with football, and not only what I've had with people, is on one day I could be absolutely rock solid at the back, and then another day, one thing will happen, I'll lose my head, see the red mist, and I'm gone. Do you know what I mean? So people have there's either two stories about me. It's either Rob was fantastic for me at centre half and absolutely solid, or he was a bit of a liability. It's one or the other. Until recently, where I changed it, and became consistent. So yeah, at football it would come out. I'd never go looking for trouble. I've got to be honest. I'll never look for trouble, and I'll never start it, but I'll never shy away from it. That was my problem, and I'd always react to it. And it got to, I was starting to then, before I had counselling and before I had the meltdown on the pitch, I got to a point where that fuse was getting shorter.
Yeah.
So I noticed a pattern in it, and that fuse was getting shorter. And I kind of scared myself a bit, probably about 2, I think it was about 2 weeks. No, it was a little bit, a couple of months before what happened at football. But I, long story short, come out of the train station, got in Frank's car. She reversed. A bloke walked out behind and banged on the window and called her a silly cow for not looking. Oh, he did.
Can't hear you, mate.
She wasn't there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no. Having a little problem, obviously, with the internet tonight. Myself or Rob, but we'll get through it anyway.
Yeah. Hello, mate.
Yeah, you good?
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So then, bloke banged on the car behind. Basically said to Frank, "Oh, you silly cow, what you doing?" Frank went, "Oh, fuck off, mate." Just shrugged it on, nothing serious, not properly or anything. And bear in mind at the time she was pregnant, so I then drove off, and he's come steaming down the road towards her, not knowing I'm in the passenger seat. And he's got in the window and he's called her a stupid cunt, kind of thing. And I said, "Mate, get away from." I said, "Mate, get away from the car." I actually tried to defuse him, and he turned around to me and he went, "What are you going to do about it, you silly cunt?" Sorry about my language, by the way, people, if that offends you. I apologise.
Don't worry.
Retracing the story.
Yeah.
And I said, "Step away from the car," and he wouldn't let me get out. And I said, "Leave it alone," and he started again. So I got out, and I hit him, and instantly, mate, his face exploded, and I knew I'd hurt him.
Yeah.
and I didn't like it, to be honest. I
Mm.
did not like it. I wasn't proud of it. And his eyes rolls, he hit the floor, and he hit his head on the floor,
Mm.
and he was unconscious, and there was blood everywhere. And that kind of scared me because although I've always had a bit of a temper and a bit of fire in my belly,
Mm.
I've never just turned round without thinking. And then, well, obviously I've had fights, I've hit people, but I've never turned around so calmly and just thought nothing of it, and just lumped someone and weighed it, like ironed them out straight like that.
Mm.
And I kind of thought, although he deserved it, don't get me wrong, he deserved it, because I just thought I don't need this.
Yeah.
I don't I don't want to keep all for it. Do you know what I mean? And I've got a little boy on the way. I've got,
Mm.
you know what I mean. My moods are up and down all the time. I knew it was getting
Yeah.
worse. I noticed the pattern, and I went right. I've got to go. Then that happened at football. I froze up, went numb,
Mm.
kind of went into a hole that day, and I went and I had to get help. Do you know what I mean? I had to go and speak to someone.
So do you think from that moment you was like, I need to do something now? Like that was your turning point to a
Mm.
certain degree?
Yeah, yeah. It kind of instilled the fear. I was scared of myself in the end, because I was becoming so unpredictable, if I'm being totally honest. Again, although he deserved it,
Mm.
I didn't, you know what I
You
mean?
didn't want to become that person.
Usually I'll only give someone a clump if they give me a clump. Nah, I didn't want a little bastard who's just gonna, the minute someone says something, is gonna weigh into someone.
Yeah.
It's not, although you might know me from football, Jay, as kind of a bit, you know what I mean, bit strong, like a bit of an alpha male. I don't know how to explain on the pitch. I guess a bit of a typical non-league centre half who's
Yeah.
strong to tackle,
Yeah. Yeah.
gets involved, kind of thing. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
nasty person. You know what I mean? I'm not nasty. I'll defend myself. I won't shy away from a fight if I'm presented one, but
Yeah.
I'm not a nasty person, which I didn't want to become.
Mm.
Um, so so that was my experience with mental health, mate. And then
Mm.
I went and got counselling.
Mm.
Um, I know some people counselling might not be for them. Um, just like antidepressants definitely weren't going to be for me. I didn't want them to be for me. I wanted to address the issue and not mask it, which I feel maybe that's what antidepressants do. I'm not a doctor though, so I don't know.
Mm.
But luckily enough, it worked for me. And then I, I mentioned bipolar. I'm not
Mm.
bipolar personally, um, but there's people. There's people. It runs in my family to an extent that I know I've got family in Ireland that have it. But my brother was recently diagnosed with it, mate,
Mm.
and he over the last couple of years, and it was horrendous. Got to be honest, it was horrendous to see. It was heartbreaking, mate. It was
Yeah.
not. So I got three older brothers. I got the oldest brother Stephen, um, middle brother Graham. He's the one who was diagnosed with it, and then my next brother up, Daniel.
Mm.
Um, we actually talking of Vino Ganella. We know we went to school with the Ganellas and stuff. They all kind of went to school with each other and different cousins, and
Yeah.
we but Graham, me, Daniel, and Stephen, we're all similar. We're into our football. We're into this. That Graham's an academic. He went to university, done a PhD. He was like the clever kid out of all of us, you know. And he was the perfect. Like, if there was any kid you thought can go off the rails, it was him.
Mm.
And then about 2 years ago, he was up and down anyway. Worse, severely worse. Hello, yeah, and
Yep.
he became Rob. It's me.
Yeah, we'll go back on. We're going to get through it. Internet problems. It's what happens. It's fine. Just waiting for it to connect.
We're back. We're back. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Cool. Don't worry.
So yeah, and then his behaviour came like really strange,
Mm.
and this is a kid who'd never touched drink, drugs, anything like that. He
Yeah.
started self-medicating with drugs, and then his bipolar went off the scales. It became a real problem. He was ringing all of us. He needed help, and we were trying to help him, but he couldn't see it because he started self-medicating with stuff instead of going to the doctor and getting psychiatry help, and that was really heartbreaking. And now when I see things on bipolar, or I'm telling you now, you see these videos online of people running up and down the street naked and stuff, mate,
Yeah.
and they go viral, and everyone's laughing.
I know. Yeah.
Right? I can't laugh at something like that because that was my brother over the last 18 months at one point, mate. And
But do you feel? Sorry to cut you short, mate. But do you feel like that's a stereotype as well? Like I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but
no,
it doesn't need to be put out there like it's put out there. And everyone thinks when you mention mental health or bipolar or something like that, it's like, oh well, there in that case.
yeah, that unfortunately that was again that's part of the stigma is, oh no, they're just a lunatic. Do you know what I mean? They're on drugs.
And don't get me wrong, I'm like, listen, I'd never laughed at it, but before obviously the
Oh
issues
yeah,
with my dad or whatever, I probably did say that. I'm being honest, like,
mate,
I'm
I
honest
did
to
when I was
myself.
younger. I did.
Yeah,
I thought,
because,
what's up with that bloke? He's a lunatic.
yeah, you
As
just
I got
don't,
older, yeah,
yeah,
you
you just
realise
don't
actually no, they've
understand
got a
it.
problem. Yeah, you realise they've got a problem, and it's quite sad. Do you know what I mean? Like famous one, Fritz in Catford. Do you know what I mean? I grew up in Catford. Fritz is a legend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I was a kid, he used to scare the shit out of me,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
of course.
But then I got older and I realised that he was a really nice fella, and he was schizophrenic, and stuff. But everyone's got a story. Everyone's got their own issues, Jay. And
Yeah, yeah.
because I've had my own mental health problems, which he
And
talks
said,
about, and then
love
I've
Fritz.
seen him. Huh?
He just turned around, N just turned around and said, love Fritz.
Yeah, he hangs around outside one of their garages down by Pitts
Yeah,
at,
yeah,
at the Ganella Brothers, and he so because I've been through my own mental health problems, Jay, and I've seen my brother go through his real severe mental health problems with his bipolar.
mm-hmm.
Thankfully enough, over the last 3 or 4 months, he's actually come out the other side of it. He's off drugs. He's on all his medication. He's got help. He's got psychiatrists. He's got therapists, and he's back to his normal self. So touch wood, and it's like brother again, which is great. So yeah, you
Of
kind
course,
of
yeah.
with mental health, you empathise and sympathise with people a bit more if they're not behaving their usual selves. When most people go, "Oh, what's up with him?" Do you know what I mean? I can't bear him. I
Well,
can't deal with him. I have to put my arm around.
Sonia's just said that's the problem. People judge before asking, and I've come across that. Obviously, I've probably done it beforehand as well. Like as you said, Rob, when we're younger and growing up, you don't realise it, and maybe to a certain degree, unless it's really around you, you don't really understand it. You don't really care to a certain degree, and as you say, it's a stigma and it's a stigma and a stereotype, isn't it? Big time
That's it.
with that.
And we've got to try and all break that stereotype. I've got to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, everyone you know will have suffered at some stage. They just won't have spoke about it. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And because
100%.
it's an injury at the end of the day that needs nursing. And I think the best thing you can do is be honest with yourself. Try and come to terms with no, just yeah. Sorry, that's wrong. You've got to be honest with yourself and that self and identify you've got an issue stage, and then you've got to work out how you're going to address that issue. You know, and then you've got to be honest with everyone around you and explain to them what the problem is. If they then don't want to help you, people that are close to you, if they then choose not to want to be there for you, then that's their choice, and you've got to cut them ties. I'm going to be honest.
We spoke about it, me and you, a little bit. I turned around and said it as well. I don't know if he's in here. He was in here a minute ago, but Tyrone Sterling, he's on Monday night. But I've had other people, obviously from the England six-a-side team, and I've said it before, and I felt like last year they were closer to me than certain people. What was really close to me, you know what I mean? And I needed them, but they weren't close to me. So as I say, and I've last couple of weeks I've heard from other people thinking, and they've said that it's the people around you that you've got to trust, but you've got to pick the right people, really. And sometimes you learn from that, you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just cutting. Obviously, I've just said that, but Sonia said it's great to hear men talking about it, though. Thanks, Sonia, and this is why I done it. To be fair, because the first platform, I feel that I've said from the start, if it can help one person, but ideally it was aimed obviously at men in football because of the stigma around men not talking about it. But it's now opened up that I want to obviously get more women on. I've spoken to Sonia and a few others, and down the line I will get obviously more women on to talk about it as well. The People's FC said, I think sometimes people don't know how to help people who are down. So the People's FC, they're a Sunday team. They do YouTube, but they basically their whole of their thing is a charity thing. So every event they do or every game they fundraise for everything, basically for charities. So they're great people. I've got Kai on next week actually. But now I can tell you, but obviously a special next week with Kai, who is the founder of the People's FC. He founded basically People's FC because he found one of his mates basically was he committed suicide. So, but Kai will obviously say about that next week. Rob's obviously gone off because of his internet, but Kai's a great guy, and I'm looking forward to having him on next week. Wait for Rob to come back in. I think sometimes people don't know how to help people who are down. Not that they don't want to, they don't know how. Yeah, I agree. I totally. I believe this is Kai, obviously, on here. But yeah, I believe.
Yeah, no. So the people see, is it Kai? Yeah, I could hear you, mate. It's just me that cut out. He made. It's a great point he made. Some people, they just don't You can't expect them to understand what's going on in your head when you haven't told them, or if you don't know yourself what's going on. Sometimes, you know, you've got to come to terms with your issues first before anyone else can. And some people will want you to get better and come out the other side of it, but he's right. They won't know how to help you do that. That's not them not wanting to help you. It's just not that how. And I agree with what he said.
We have created an online course which can help. Paul, who is on our management team, made it. So, but that's great. Like for people.
But that's
perfect. So I can't hear you again, Rob.
Yeah.
Go on, mate. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. No, it's all right. Cool. Try to take it off your Wi-Fi, Rob, and put it on 4G. Yeah, try to put it on 4G. It might be your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Obviously, when you can hear this, you can hear me now, Rob.
Yo,
Yeah, no. But yeah, when Rob comes back on in a second, yeah, just throw some questions across to Rob as well as myself. Um, I've got a couple, obviously, questions for him as well, but everyone else throw it across as well to us.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're good. You're right.
Yeah, so no, great point I made. It's not that they don't want to help you. People just don't understand what's going on in your head. If you don't, how can you expect them to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you do get the help and you are trying to help yourself, if they then don't want to know for whatever reason, then that's maybe you just got to let it go sometimes with some friendships, you
Of
know?
course.
That's just the way it is, Jay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit. I don't want to. Mental health's a bit of one of them things. Everyone wants to talk about it until it gets to talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not everyone
What
really wants to talk about it sometimes.
question I got for you? Obviously, you spoke about obviously your story, experiences, and that. What is your views? Obviously, once you have spoken about it, obviously you touched on it that cancelling did work for you. It doesn't work for everyone, but what do you feel the next step should be if it's good for you cancelling and it has worked? The aftercare of that, or if it hasn't worked, what do you feel the aftercare should be? Should it be better? What do you feel it should be? How do you think it can help?
Yeah. So yeah, I went. So I done it privately. I've got to be honest. I just went. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to address it straight away. I found a woman called Louise. She was based in Bromley, and it was £40 an hour once a week. I'd done it for, and I'd done it for a few months, and that's what worked for me. She was amazing. She checks every now and again. She'll check in with you. How's things, Rob? Blah blah. I haven't heard from you in a while. Is everything okay? And I'll let her know. Yeah, it's all good. If I said to her,
Just to
if I'm not
Rob,
good,
sorry,
obviously I'll let you
just to
know.
let you know, Rob, just to let you know, I can see you, but it's very
Yeah,
blurry, but I can hear you better. So we'll carry on for now,
can
but
you?
it's
Yeah,
just a blurry picture.
can you
That's
hear me
all.
still?
Yeah, I can hear you still. Go on, carry on.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, so I can't. So I didn't do it through the NHS or through the GP. It was private. So in terms of aftercare, I'm pretty sure they're meant to check up on you with the NHS if you do it through your doctor and stuff.
Mm.
But I'm pretty sure there's a long waiting list to get you a counsellor or a therapist as well, by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
Where my brother with his bipolar suffered, it took him a very long time to get the right therapy, counselling, and for them to check up on him. I've got to be honest. So if you can, I would advise doing it privately. If you can, it was £40 an hour. My one that I've done it with, the woman I've done it with, once a week. But you're potentially saving your own life.
Yeah. I'll read these last two comments, Rob, because literally I've got a minute and then I'll come off the live and come back on. All right. Basically, my mum has suffered. This is from People's FC. My mum has suffered for years, and she gets down when people don't check up, etc. But some people get a bit shy, stroke nervous about helping. 100%. The same Webby turned around and said, "I think people get nervous to look like they're being nosy." Yeah, they're both valid points. I agree. Again, I think it's having the right people obviously around. I've got a minute left on this live. I'm going to come off. Everyone come back in. We finish off the chat with Rob and throw some questions as well, everyone. See you in a sec.